World of Warships. We're checking out the game. This is a free-to-play title. I first off wanted to mention that this is a sponsored video from the group. Thanks to them for that. So right away, if you do want to check out the game, there is a link in the description and as a comment that you can click. It'll give you a promo code that contains 250 doubloons, 1 million credits, 3 days of premium Campbellville Town, which is a premium ship, and of course a port slot. So this is only for new players, this promo code, and I think it's pretty cool to check out this rather interesting game that's all about naval warfare. Great, now we're going to go through a quick sign up. So you basically go to the link. Basically by clicking the link, it'll kind of fill it out a little bit for you, and then you just enter your email and choose a password and everything like that. Sign up, click the email link they send you afterwards to verify your account, and then you'll kind of go to this page and you get to pick which of the games you want to play. They've got planes, they've got tanks, but we're here to check out boats. Click the boat and then you get this fancy kind of area where you can download the game. So basically this should be able to run on your computer and your system fine. There's a bunch of different options. I'm just going to quickly show you the system requirements for Windows or Mac OS. Keep in mind that there are multiple options for actually, sort of downloading the title, and I'm going to show that in a sec. So once that's good to go, click the download. You'll get a pop-up in the bottom left corner. Click the execution file, and you'll get an installer that will show up, as you see kind of in the middle left of the screen there. It'll download the game, but also give you some choices in regards to how much content you download. You can see that right here. So you can have the super high, like the ultra, or you can just have high, and that kind of changes how much space this will take up. So it doesn't consume too much of your PC space if you need it. And you can also choose how your updates are delivered as well. I wanted to showcase that off. Click that, and then you're good to go, and then you get this fancy little pop-up for the game here, and you can change the resolution and sign in and get playing. Cool, let's jump into it. So as I mentioned, this is a free-to-play naval warfare game, and it's all about ships blowing each other up in the water. It looks great, and we're going to go into more details here. So if you've played Wargaming's other game, which is World of Tanks, a favorite of mine, I do really enjoy that one, it's going to feel very, very familiar. So this is on PC here, and you basically go around aiming, shooting, and blasting anything that gets in your way as your team attempts to win. So let's go over the basics, because I want to go over all the details in this and kind of give a full account of what's going on in the game. We have a series of ships that you get kind of to hold and use. There's a large variety in the game. We have over 200 models of ships here, which I think is a rather impressive feat. And this is across 8 different, national sort of ship groups. We're gonna go more into like the cool little details about the game, but first off, I want to really explain things. So we're at the port. Then you can go and battle. This is the start. They wanted me to show off a fresh account, as you saw with the setup earlier, and basically, we have the introductory kind of tutorial, which is quick and easy to get you going, and then co-op battles as you battle against bots. There's also like competitive multiplayer. They gave me a full press account so that I could check out the game prior to doing the video. So I do have a lot of experience kind of going around blasting things and so forth. So you can go play against players. There's ranked. There's all kinds of different things to it. They're constantly adding new content to the game every week. So if you go and you want to play with your buddies and blast things, oh cool, Zeppelin, you can do just that. So first off, a lot of this is sort of all about your ship and improving it. You can research new things to your ship. You have points. You earn more silver and kind of the stars as you play and progress forward. That gives you a sense of earning things, and again that progression that you would get from a game. And of course it doesn't cost you anything either. And with the promo pack you get a nice little starting thing, which I think is kind of cool. And then you're trying to get to the next ship levels. You want to unlock new tiers and then throw a captain on there, and there's ammunition and consumables. There's a lot of depth to this. We kind of take a look at the tech tree here and you get an idea of just what kind of wild ships you can get down the way. Kind of jumped into that, sorry. You get an idea of, and every ship is different too. There's so many different ships for so many different countries, and they all kind of do different things. Some are faster, some are stronger, some have more guns, some blast in different ways. So you get that sense of, there's a lot to this, And there's a lot of content here. And knowing from basically their work with World of Tanks, these guys, they're constantly evolving the game and constantly adding new content to it. It's also a very beautiful game, as you can kind of see my level right there. I haven't done much in this, obviously, because I've been playing on the other account. But it's cool, got all the ships and go boom boom, and it's like, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah, so we've got the currency, you kind of use that, you can get extra ship slots if you'd like. You get a good stable of ships to start with all the different nations. Think of it as like a tester you would get for food, and you can check out all the different kinds and see what sort of fits your, I don't know, your style. Because I like to have fast and quick shooting things that may not do a lot of damage, but can really get me into the action quickly. There's also clans if you'd like to join into that too. And I think we're going to jump in with the Hermelin. It is a German ship. And we're just going to do the co-op battle. So it's kind of good that there's co-op battles too, and I don't feel as pressure to play the competitive multiplayer, because playing against the AI is going to make me look a little bit better in terms of competition. Not to say they're not bad, which is not the case. It's just, you know, makes you look a little bit more powerful out there. And yeah, we're going to jump into that. It's pretty fast to find ships. It's also good that they start you out with something a little easier, especially if you haven't played this type of game before. It's a very strategic title. You're going around, you know, blasting things, but there's a lot more to it, just based on where you shoot, the kind of damage you can cause, the fire damage, and so forth. Every ship's kind of different in how it takes damage or how it deals damage, and I think that kind of really does mix things up very well. So we're already getting into a game. Let's go back into details. This is a massive game where you can command a naval fleet that you create of history's most iconic war vessels. And, you know, it's highly detailed. You get weather effects where each battle is unique. There's also different types of islands, if that makes sense. Like, there was one that's like more of an Arctic environment, and there's like more of a tropical one. So there's always something different too in the environments, and that's one thing I really love about the kind of wargaming titles, is the attention to detail in the environments. You get a very natural sort of skybox with clouds that actually do move, and a vibrant sun. It kind of looks like a bit like art in the background. And that's one detail that's always important to me in games, is the visuals around you. The water is stunning. As your ship is moving, I should probably start the battle, talk too much. As the ship is moving, you can see the ripples in the water, which you're not seeing because it hasn't started yet. And when you stop, you can kind of see the water push around. There's smoke. You can zoom in and you kind of get like a close-up of your ship, and you can see all these little details in it that just make it look that much better. But to go into details about generally what we're getting here, in the bottom right corner we have our map. Get a full detail of that by obviously clicking M, and then you can see this. You can also set an autopilot too. Kind of click the buttons there, and your ship will go on a predetermined course for up to 5, and so you can zigzag. But I don't really want the game controlling me. I would rather play myself. That's just my opinion. So we've got just the one type of ammo. You can get better ammo too if you'd like. You can repair your ship when fire happens, as you can see with the bit of fire extinguisher there. I'm going to slow things down. So going to the left-hand side, you can see the orientation of your ship. Remember, you've got like guns, right? But the guns have to move. So if you're looking like you want to shoot there, you got to wait till your gun goes over and aligns before you can do that. You can see the ship, the gun right here in the front on the left-hand side. Kind of move around, and now it's aiming. And you never want to stop moving, but I'm kind of explaining things, so that's why I'm doing that. Cool, so we zoom in here. You can actually kind of get an idea of where enemies are and so forth as you see them. Obviously, these are just bots at the beginning. And as you play, you get more competitive and so forth. And, yeah, so you're trying to aim and kind of shoot at things, obviously. And I do suggest, actually, because there is a lot of nuance to how you fire at things. Ooh, that was a good hit. Wow. Oh, that was really good. So you're trying to lead your targets, just like in World of Tanks if you played that. You want to shoot ahead, and you want to kind of predict where they're going. That way you can hit them and actually cause damage. So as you can see, you sort of have this meter on the left-hand side too that determines your speed, where you're going, basically like how fast you're going. And that will determine how easy it is to turn or move. Again, you don't want to be stopped still because that's sort of deadly. You also have your ship health. At the top, you can kind of see your teammates and the enemy and the flag captures. You're trying to capture flag points. It's kind of like a double-sided kind of way to win, if that makes sense. Sure, you can win by, you know, destroying everything, or you can kind of capture the points and force the enemy out. It's an extra layer of tactical gameplay that really makes this interesting. Oh, that was good.
Don't fire at your allies.
I want to move into the open, but I don't want to die, specifically. So, like some of the iconic vessels, you know, the USS Indianapolis, if you like that, and you're constantly unlocking new ships that allow you to dominate the gameplay a bit more the further you progress. Obviously, you know, more content you unlock and so forth. As I'm shooting this, because I'm not actually over the thing. So yeah, there's always something new, like that I was saying, steady thing to, no matter what level you are in the game, there's always new content coming out. And it constantly keeps it fresh, so you can spend just hours of gameplay with yourself. By yourself, you can play by yourself too if you want. You just jump into matches, no problem with that. Or you can play with your buddies too and have a good time with lots of new content all the time. We're gonna fire away here. As I'm distracted talking and not really focusing, I kind of hit that one. I want to lead a bit more. That was a good shot. So you're trying to get an idea of sort of where they're going. As you can see, you actually have to reload. So some ships take longer to reload than others, and some have more cannons and you can shoot than others. So it really comes down to understanding the vessels you have, upgrading them, making them more effective, and then coming up with your own strategies so that you can properly tackle anything that, you know, comes and threatens your shipping way of life. Because you're the captain, obviously. So on top of that, also, there's different tiers to the ships too, right? Different sorts of, basically, difficulties, if that makes, or not difficulties, but ship tiers. So the bigger ships are obviously higher tiers. They do more damage. They, you know, gotta go for, oh crap, nope, 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 nope. I beached, guys. I'm chatting, shooting, and, you know, good thing this isn't real players. I'd be getting myself embarrassed out there. But there's different ship tiers, so, you know, the bigger the tier, the more tense the gameplay is, I guess you could say. Blow this thing up. You can also, like, free aim, too. And there's, like, a free look, if you'd like to have a free look. Take in that sky a bit. See the clouds moving. Oh, this thing's not dead yet. I thought my teammates might shoot it out. Come on, right here. We're on fire! Cool. So to get to some more talking points, you know, since launch of the 200 ships, as I mentioned, I am really not looking too good out of there. So the weather effects, you know, armor viewer, you got all these enhanced realism aspects. They really try to capture the true element of what the kind of warfare is like as my ship slowly... That thing is not dead yet? I thought I killed that thing. Or maybe it's a different one. Look at the explosions. It looks pretty cool, right? I think that looks really neat. We got somebody else that wants a little piece of me, eh? Nice. Move the ship, move it. I don't want to get beached at that Arctic station again. Cool, and currently, as of 2018, which this is being taken, they've got 7 million active players, which is a really big, strong community. It'd be really cool to see this on consoles, actually, if they did the tanks. I don't see why not at some point. That's just a side thought. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of authenticity, too, in the vehicles. Just like with the tanks in World of Tanks, because I don't know if you've seen those, but I kind of go into detail about it. They spend a long time. It's an average of 6 months building these ships, and they want to make them, like, entirely from scratch. The modeling, the authenticity, the engine types, everything, and then, obviously, the balancing, too. Needs to be perfect as far as getting these into the game. Cool. Yeah, it really is sort of a thinking man's action game. And if you like that type of thing, we're going to check out something. Maybe the Black Swan would be a cool idea. Alright, so we're getting ready for another match here. Getting ready to battle it out. As you can see, the terrain has changed greatly. We're no longer in an Arctic cold place. We're in a more, not tropical, but definitely a warmer climate. And we're getting ready to battle with the Black Swan, which is a UK ship.
Action stations.
Let's get into here. And obviously, you know, on top of all the strategy that exists within the ships and the different types of, you know, battles that go on and the different variations in the combat, there's also the islands that come into play. It's not like a game where you're using terrain exactly to your advantage. Like in World of Tanks, you would kind of nestle down into a little cove. In this one, the water is just an open wasteland from where you can get shot from. You need to use the islands and sort of anything that's in the ground to your advantage. That's your cover. And that's how you can create traps and so forth. A couple of the maps I've definitely noticed a lot of people like to do this is they'll let one team sort of move into a cove while they're lined up on the outside, and they just blast them away because they're not exactly expecting that to happen, or they're not paying attention, and that's an extra layer to the strategy involved in this one. Alright, so we moved along a bit more. I love the clouds in this, the way they're kind of like lightly moving over. We haven't come across anybody yet, but you can see the way on the map here that the islands are shaped and how they can directly sort of provide that little bit of cover for you to move in between and get the advantage. One minor issue I do have is I'd like the draw distance to be a bit better. I do have this maxed out. And I don't know exactly if it is draw distance or if it's just sort of how their discovery system is. Because I know in World of Tanks you can kind of like vanish if you're looking away. So it might just be that. Just at times I can see like the ships kind of like disappear a bit. And I'm like, ah, come on, I almost had them and so forth like that. Probably discovery, but just something I thought I would mention. Other than that, I'm very, very pleased with the visuals. I mean, look how sharp that ship looks from that far away. I mean, ships are pretty cool, too. I mean, oh, yeah, we got them good. I mean, everybody likes tanks and so forth and planes. Ships are neat. Go across the ocean, got all this stuff on them. They're sleek, yet big. It's neat. I love just sort of the destruction elements involved, too. Like, you can really see these ships taking damage, aside from the health bar, obviously, at the top. But you can see, like, you know, them catching fire, them being hit, and all the dynamics involved with the warships and so forth as you dynamically damage them. But I think I've about covered all the key points that I was supposed to in that regard. I really want to make sure I'm getting everything done in this. It's fun. There's a lot of game modes involved in it for whatever kind of ship-based battles you want. Oh, this is really piling up here. Intense action going on. But yeah, I mean, there's full control of your ships. There's so many ships you can unlock. You can tweak the finer points of your ships. Tons of different modes, all kinds of content coming out all the time for it. You get a very authentic, breathing, realistic world that they're always fine-tuning and improving. And it's mostly just a lot of fun. So, I mean, again, if you want to check it out, I do encourage you to. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a free-to-play, and you can get some benefits if you haven't played before with the promo code. Check that out in the description or the comments below. I'll have like a highlighted one. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. I may not be the best ship destroyer, I guess, but I think I did a pretty good job for what I've shown off and generally covered all the points.